It's Sword Prepper here. Well, we have a sweltering hot day here again. Mighty hot. Can't be outside without sweating. All that nice cloud cover we were having 2 days ago has all vanished. Not a cloud in the sky. And the sun is just beating down. But we're out for our walk. Anyways, I normally try to take at least 2 walks a day. More. And I do some running exercise, but that's neither here nor there. I had some breaking news I wanted to cover. Some of the news that I have to say is just things that I think everyone should be aware of, and then there's some that I figure is a little more important, so we're going to talk about that. First thing is, well, the polio virus. I know a lot of you might not know what that is. It was a virus from back in the 90s. Back in the 19th century. What it does is it paralyzes. It basically paralyzes you, makes you unable to move your body and stops you from breathing. Basically, it stops your functions altogether, your bodily functions. All you can basically do is think, and you can talk a little bit. There's different severities in different cases, but all in all, it's a virus. It's a paralyzing virus. Apparently, it has been spotted or detected in New York, and that it's causing people to quarantine, and it's causing lots of. Well, it's in New York, in the sewage. I'm not gonna try to plate it up, make it sound like it's the next big thing, but it's in the news now, so it's something to be aware of. The polio virus. So I watched a movie on that a while ago, a few months ago, before it was in the news or anything. And I don't know if you all know this, but I know this from being in the entertainment industry myself, and just paying attention. What the entertainment industry does is they're owned by the same industry that pretty much has the government. And one of the things they have to do is they have to tell the public what they're going to do through their movies before they actually do it. So I watched a movie on the polio virus. It was kind of interesting. But I think it's something that everyone should be aware of, especially us preppers. We should be thinking about that. If they have it, if it's making news now, then it's probably bigger than just New York. They're probably going to start trying to implement polio stuff here in the future. Could be. I'm not saying they will, but that could be something we see in the news here in the near future. Here's another breaking story, I think, that everyone should be aware of. This is more than just the polio virus. This is something that we talked about previously. It's China, Taiwan, Nancy Pelosi. So apparently, China has been firing missiles over Taiwan. This is in direct response to Nancy Pelosi going over there and messing with them. Because that's essentially what she did. She went over there. It's not American territory. She went over there and messed with them. So now they're firing missiles over Taiwan. They're doing military drills over there. All that good stuff. Yeah. So what does that mean for us? It means that if China is doing military drills and firing missiles over Taiwan in direct response to something that America did, we, us preppers, should be getting ourselves ready as well. We should be running our drills as well. Don't let China run their drills and then we not run ours. Oh look, there's some wildlife over there. I think it was a deer. Whatever it was a large brown thing. I think it was a deer. China's running their drills and we're not running ours. So as us preppers, we should definitely be running our drills. Get your drills going. Set up your courses. Make sure you have your equipment known. Make sure you know your equipment. Make sure you know yourself. run your drills. It's very important. China's now running their drills. Oh, did I forget to mention about all this drilling stuff? China has run their drills and they're running their drills, and the US will not run drills because they say that they don't want to upset anyone. Mind you, the US literally just went over to Taiwan after China specifically said, don't do it. We would just went over there, and now we won't run military drills because, oh, we're afraid of upsetting them? We're afraid of upsetting China or anything? Come on, guys, don't baffle. Don't be stupid. Wind your neck in. This is such a silly country we live in, such a silly world we live in. So, yeah, if you think that plays into, if you think you're gonna stand up and fight for this country, fight for this government that won't run drills and is afraid to run drills because it might upset other countries, guys, don't. If you're prepping to fight for America, if you're prepping to fight for this government, you're prepping for the wrong reasons. Because the government will take what you have and turn you in. They don't care about you. They would turn themselves into China if it meant staying in power. They would turn themselves into China if it meant creating a better, what they call a better world government. They don't care. Next on the list. Oh, my nose is just completely messed up today. Feels like allergies. Next is at least 4 people were struck and severely injured by a lightning bolt directly across from the White House. Now, it wouldn't have caught my eye so much if it wasn't directly across from the White House. So, what this sounds like to me is judgment. It sounds like God is warning these people. It sounds like God is warning the White House and Joe Biden and all these freaks. Sounds like that sounds more like a warning to me than anything. I find it interesting that if first of all, that must have been a very powerful lightning bolt. If it struck 4 people, it must have been a very large one. And it must have. So think about it. It's more the news line is just a lightning bolt struck 4 people, injured them, and thing. But imagine if you were there, a lightning bolt big enough to hit 4 people. That's a large lightning bolt. So if you were there, it would have shaken you. You would have felt that. It would have made such a rattling and such a big thundering sound that everyone in the vicinity would have known. It would have been like it would have almost been like a small instant earthquake. 4 people. I take that as a warning. I take that I take that as God saying, "Hey, you think you can do? You think I don't see what you're up to? You think you can go out and try to rule the nations and pervert my ways, and you don't think I know what you're up to?" That's what I see that as. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Alright. Last but not least is, I have a few things written down so I don't forget. Oh yes, the monkeypox virus. The monkeypox virus is now a public health crisis. A public health emergency. So, that right there, my friends, that right there, warriors, is breaking news. That is official and breaking news. When the health organization has to call something a health emergency, it means that it is beyond just, okay, there's this thing going around. Yeah, we have a cold, we get it, there's a cold that goes around every year. People die from it every year. No, now it's more than that. They are calling it an emergency. Which means, so what they do is when they call it an emergency, it gives them power. It gives them power to enact certain measures that they would not be able to enact if it weren't an emergency. It's a government power sort of thing. Play on words. If they can't call it an emergency, then they can't take certain measures to try and stop it. But if they can call it an emergency, then they can take certain measures against it to stop it, and they can. It gives them more control over what happens and what authoritarian rules they can make for the people. So, guys, This is a public health emergency now. What does that mean for us? What should that tell you? It should tell you, first of all, it should tell you that they are far from over with this whole health crisis thing. They're far from over with this whole Corona V thing. They're far from over with trying to control the masses. They're going to continue to do this until they have control. They have complete and utter control. They're not done. This should mean that you preppers are getting yourselves ready. I can't say it enough. Get yourselves ready. Stock your shelves. Learn your weapons. Learn your property. You could find yourself in a situation very soon where there's no government to rely on. The government is against you. You could find yourself in a situation very soon where you're out here in the wild and your abode is with wildlife. You could find yourself in a situation very soon where, I don't know, you have to go and find a camp. You have to go and find a what's the word I'm looking for? An encampment, a fortress to have to abide in. You have to go leave your place and go find some people who have prepped, some prepper's house to live in, because the government doesn't want you. You're seen as a public health crisis. You're seen as a public hazard because you're walking around without having taken one of these right here. That's a very real possibility. We've seen time and time again. Does anyone remember when the whole thing rolled out and they were finally getting these on the shelves and they were saying, trying to force people to take them, and say there was a lot that came out that was like, okay, if you don't want to get this in your arm, then you are unfit for society. There was literally governmental talks about how to quarantine, how to ex-nay people that don't see the wisdom in getting V'd, how to ex-nay them from society. And it's still going on in many places. It's just not as harsh here as it used to be. But there's still many stores that won't allow you in if you're not V'd. There's still many countries that still have quarantine camps for people who aren't V'd. Australia was a major one. They literally they locked people in their house. They welded the door shut, built camps, concentration camps is all I can call them, for people who didn't want to take this. That could be coming up very soon again with all this virus stuff. Polio, monkeypox, all this stuff that's now making the news again. Guys, it's not over. Prepare yourselves. Get ready. Know your mind. Know what you're up against. Because if you think they just forgot, if you think they just decided, oh, we're just gonna stop. We push so hard for all this V stuff. We push so hard for all this healthcare stuff and forced shots stuff. But you know what? We're just done. We're just gonna stop that now. We don't care about that anymore. We have better ideas. We're gonna do what we want instead of that. No, you're far, far from right. You're wrong if you think that. They are not done with this stuff. They're going to continue to push this stuff. You think things are looking better? They might be looking better, but it's only for a time. Things are going to get a lot worse very quickly here soon. So, be ready for that. Be on your highest guard. Alright, warriors, that's all for now. Keep prepping, stay out of the heat. See you in the line of battle.